Volume 1, The Winds of Qixuanmen, Chapters 1 to 7. 10-year-old Han Li laid in his leaky thatched hut, listening to his older brother's snores and his parents' murmurs through the mud wall. The skinny, dark-skinned boy, nicknamed Alengzi de Blocks by the villagers, was brainstorming how to sneak into the mountains the next day to pick red berries for his little sister. No one could guess that an unexpected visitor was about to flip his life upside down. The musty-smelling quilt barely kept out the cold as Han Li curled up on the dirt bed, forcing himself to sleep. At dawn, he'd trek into the hills with friends to chop firewood, and make sure to grab the sweetest berries for his sister. Though quiet and slow in the eyes of others, this farm boy hid a sharp mind. He often dreamed of escaping their tiny village, of seeing the world old Jung talked about. Fate struck when he least expected it. Returning home with a bundle of firewood nearly as tall as himself, Han Li found a plump man in silk robes waiting. It was his third uncle, a fancy restaurant manager from the city. The man dropped bombshell news. The Qixuanmen's once every 5 years inner disciple selection was coming, and he'd secured Han Li a spot. A month later, a wobbling carriage carried the tight-lipped boy away from the village. Third uncle, now revealed as the manager of Green Bull Town's Spring Fragrance Inn, shoved the skinny kid into a cart jammed with children. Inside, 30 kids split into 3 groups. The star was Yuan, a richly dressed city boy surrounded by admirers, while Han Li huddled in a corner with 5 other village kids. 5 bone-shaking days later, the sunset over Rainbow Cloud Mountains stole everyone's breath. But the Qixuanmen's entry trials proved crueler than imagined. First a bamboo-choked slope, then a cliffside studded with razor-sharp rocks, finally a 30-jang 100-feet cliff climb using hemp ropes. Han Li's hands turned raw, his knees gashed by stones. When he nearly collapsed at the last stretch, a senior disciple yanked him up. While Wu Yan waltzed into the Elite 7 Extremes Hall through family ties, Han Li and fellow leftover Zheng Tai became provisional disciples. Fate cranked its gears again when passing the Spirit Hand Valley's herb garden. Old Mo, the sect's mysterious physician who'd once saved the sect leader, randomly pointed at them. The coughing old man dragged the boys deeper into his fog of secrets. Old Mo's bamboo cottage reeked of herbs, shelves stuffed with medical texts. The nameless cultivation method he taught Han Li was brutal. 3 months to coax a thread of cool energy in his dantian, while others snapped saplings with their Zhengyang fist. Stranger still, Zhang Tai couldn't sense any ki at all. Every time Han Li circulated that faint energy, he felt old Mo's hawk-like eyes watching from shadows. One autumn day, Han Li trembled violently after his 7th major cycle circulation. The agony of tearing meridians reminded him of dangling from that cliff rope months ago, watching Wu Yan laugh while flipping him off. This pain was worse, but he gritted his teeth until they nearly cracked. That wisp of cool energy, shot at rewriting destiny. Moonlight spilled into Spirit Hand Valley as Han Li fingered the dried berry pouch in his robe, remembering the copper coin his mother sewed into his collar. From Old Mo's room came the rustle of the classic of longevity pages. The old man who coughed blood by day now scribbled notes by candlelight. Shadows danced across his face, and for a flicker, something like a smile twisted his lips.